picked up the guitar at about age 10 or 11. I actually started for a few years with classical guitar and then started singing and became just really interested in songwriting and you know, singing became my sort of main form of expression, but because I'd learned classical guitar, I kind of had the grounding for finger picking, so I was getting more out of a guitar and more interesting accompaniments. And then as I was discovering music, you know, found myself just really drawn to the late 60s, early 70s era of songwriters, you know, both the rock bands of, you know, Led Zeppelin and The Doors and the Beatles, but also, you know, James Taylor and Joni Mitchell and all these people that just wrote really interesting songs with just very, you know, engaging lyrics. And I think I just felt that's what I want to do. I want to make people feel, you know, the same thing that these people are making me feel. Yeah, I had one-on-one lessons with a teacher, and she, it was really grounded in classical guitar. So it was really about learning to read music and learn to use both hands of a guitar. And then I just sort of hit a point where I felt I'm not going to be a concert artist, and I'm more into contemporary music than I'm into classical music. But I feel like I've had a grounding to make up and explore. And that was around the time I was just getting into singing, and singing was really self-taught. I just sang a lot of blues, but it's just, you know, it's an ongoing learning process. I'm still discovering things about my voice and the guitar that I don't know. Through the late teens and early 20s, I was playing in bands. I was only, you know, in my probably about age of 23 where I felt like I was courageous enough to go out on stage on my own and play my own songs, and it was terrifying, you know, initially. But also I remember my first gig as playing solo, and I remember having this real intimacy and resonance with an audience that was very powerful, and that was one I hadn't experienced before, and that was what gave me the sort of affirmation. It's just like, I think this is your part. Playing in the band's the biggest challenge was I was generally writing the songs and bringing them, and so just to compromise. And I think when you lack the maturity to sort of listen, you know, to other people, and you know, it's all about respecting and trusting other people and not thinking that you're always right. Ultimately, I did want creative control and being the songwriter, I wanted to be responsible for driving it. But you know, also the older I got, I have a band that have mostly been with me from the beginning, you know, and I've learned to really just open things up to them, and I very much value their input, and they have a lot of creative input that goes into, you know, into the arrangement and recording of the songs and the performance of them live as well. For me, it's very important for the lyrics to be finished, because I feel like if the lyrics say what I want to say, and the idea is succinctly put in that song, the music to me feels, you know, it's trial and error. If something's not working, we'll try it this way, try it that way until it works. But for me, it's really the lyric kind of is number one. That has to be right. Being an artist is a challenging road, like, you know, and it has to be driven out of passion and curiosity and inspiration. And you know, it's okay if you run out of that and decide that, you know, it's not something you want to do anymore. But if you do want to do it, but you're feeling stuck that you're not moving forward, then just learning, you know, and opening the boundary of what you think your knowledge is, because our knowledge is always just confined to the boundary that we put around it, you know. So learning from as many people as you can, and you know, and also the creative process. I think I run a lot of songwriting workshops, and one thing I talk about is approaching a song or piece of music you're writing sometimes like a film, and storyboarding it out, and just stepping back and looking at the big picture as to what you want to express, and you know, almost like drawing a map of what you want to say, and then getting into the detail. And I think that's also the thing of getting a bit older and looking back on what you've done and realising that your career's just gone like that, and any artist's journey just goes up and down. And the luxury of being a bit further down the track is that you can go, I've been here before, and it's come up back here, and it will. I just got to keep going. Quite often, I'll just go back and listen to some of the music that inspired me, or search for new music, and as soon as I get that feeling, I go, oh, that's right. That's why I started doing it, because this has such a profound impact on me. I'm just really into songwriters that write interesting songs, both lyrically and structurally as well. I think music's probably always been my spirituality, that escapism, that feeling that, you know, there's a higher plane in life, there's something beyond the sort of everyday routine of what we do and what we get caught up in. Something that gives you a feeling that, yes, there is something greater.